Hello, and welcome back to Suzerain with the Republic of Swordland. And today's episode, well, we have a private meeting with David Squisky. But first, let's see what happened while we were going on. Chancellor Hegel disgraced at Alliance of Nations. Alliance of Nations' latest session has ended with many important takeaways. However, the highlight of the gathering was without a doubt Chancellor Hegel. In display of shameful behavior, Chancellor Hegel has repeatedly interrupted the Agnolian Prime Minister Van Herten, and went so far as to require the intervention of the Speaker. He would like to remind that this was a meeting of the leaders of the world, not a village council. As long as this type of behavior continues, how can we ever expect a peaceful and level-headed resolution for the Hedgeland issue? Yeah, he did not make himself look good, to be honest. Election poll results. With the election drawing near, our staff at the Marine Palace conducted general election polls all across Swordland. Our election polls showed that around 38% of Swordish citizens would likely vote for the USP in the upcoming election. That's okay. CSP warns Grace about formation of anti-Malianist union. The CSP has issued a stark warning to the Guild of Royal Allies for commercial exchange against the formation of anti-Malianist military union. The significant move from Grace, which fosters economic and diplomatic relations among various global monarchies, is seen by CSP as an imminent threat to its ideological foundation, regional peace. The CSP warning highlights the escalating tensions between different ideologies in the global political arena, shows that the CSP is ready to defend its principles against actions that undermine its values. As Grace continues to exert its influence over the global economy and international relations, this conflict underscores the urgency and importance of the ideological dialogue and negotiations in the pursuit of global stability. The ATO grants Agard a reserver status, addressing drug trade. In a significant shift in the geopolitical landscape, the ATO has conferred observer status upon Agard, a nation infamous in its central role in the drug trade spanning Kolrad, Erdmarg, Wellen, and notably Agard itself. In condemning the illegal activities, the ATO seeks a collaborative approach with a focus on the socio-economic impact of the rampant drug trafficking. Agard narco-lord Severo Rios has voiced intentions to legalize the drug trade, aiming for regulations over exploitation. With Rios at its helm, Agard entry as an observer into the ATO signifies a conventional diplomatic approach towards tackling the illicit drug trade. This move indicates Rio's commitment to engage transparency with the international community, which, despite skepticism, offers an opportunity for dialogue and resolution. Good, that's good, I'm glad to hear it. Air Lorry. ATO modernizes Swordland Air Base, or Air Force. The Air Force generals have been working tirelessly along with ATO counterparts to modernize our Air Force. The regiment training has been changed to include more maneuvering exercises as well as nighttime bombing training. Our planes have been retrofitted with the latest technology, radar systems, and cutting-edge bombs transported from Arcacia. General Staff reports that the Swordish Air Force has never been in better condition. Woo! We got an Air Force, baby! David had scheduled a private meeting with me, but he didn't specify what it was about. I heard a knock on the door. Mr. President, may I come in? Yes, David, please come in. Thank you. He slowly made his way towards the chair in front of his desk and sat down. First of all, thank you for your time. Anything for you, David. I wanted to ask you how you are doing. I'm fine, thanks for asking. That's very good. Please be sure to take some time for yourself amid all this. If you ignore the mental fatigue, it will slowly creep in on you. It will poison your thoughts. It already has a little bit, but I'm doing okay. Thank you for your valuable advice. Thank you for taking my advice over the years. What a privilege for me. I had the chance to watch my student grow into a fine and strong leader in my lifetime. What a privilege indeed. You try your best to bring reform to Swordland. That is valiant in itself. It is okay to feel frustrated by failure, but change unfortunately doesn't happen easy. You paved the way for future generations to follow, and they will remember you for it. That's right. I will do whatever I can to leave a good road for the ones who come after us. That's the spirit. We can't be sulking about our failures for too long. Otherwise, we will spiral into despair. This country does not need any more despair. I overheard a conversation the other day at your newspaper stand. It piqued my interest, so I kept listening. They were talking about you. They were calling you a radical centrist. What do you think about that? I refuse to be called a centrist. My father, Archon Swiss, used to say, always know yourself. He stopped for a moment and took a quick look at his watch. So, the elections are fast approaching. How are you feeling about your chances? You know, being a centrist in my character is very complicated. Very complicated. Because they don't really have many centrist beliefs. It's just that they have beliefs on both sides, but they don't really have any thoughts in the middle. They're just a radically capitalist and radically reformist at the same time. They are both. They are extremely capitalist. They love working on economy. They love capitalism. They think it's the way for the future. And they also believe in extreme reform, making things better, giving the poor what they need, all that. They just have radical ideas everywhere, but not really in the center specifically. It's more they're complicated. I don't know exactly how to describe how I've played this character. They're a reformist capitalist. They love capitalism, believe it's the only way to save the economy, but they also believe in absolute reform. That's them. We can't say for sure, but I'm hopeful. Good. That is what a leader should say. I'm afraid I have an announcement to make to you. Why? What's wrong? After this term, I'm done. I will be retiring. David, I can't accept this. You're replaceable to my cabinet. I've been in this line of work for many decades now. I swore an oath to myself years ago. I would quit if I ever felt I didn't have the physical capability to serve anymore. At that point, I would become a hindrance. That time has come, Mr. President. My bones are aching. My hands are shaking. My voice is falling. Besides, I'm sure you can find a younger minister who's a little more full of life. He winked at me and chuckled, which turned into... You have been a mentor, a teacher, and a friend. Thank you for your service to this country. It was an honor, Mr. President. David stood up to leave. Hug, David. We hugged. Best of luck, Anton. Thank you. He turned around and left. I'll miss you. And Lilius Graf challenges Anton Rain. And the next president Sordland is Lilius Graf? Shockwaves ran through the United Sordland parties. One-time Interior Minister announced her intention to challenge President Rain for party leadership. A staunch defender of the USP's soulless roots, Graf began the term as a close ally of Rain, but increasingly disagreed with the direction in which the president was taking the party. In a party congress to be held at the Grand National Assembly, both Graf and Rain will have a chance to make speeches, after which USP members will choose whether to keep or oust their incumbent candidate. Yeah, I'm nervous about that. People's Front coming strong. As the election drew near, a rising political force in Sordland is garnering significant attention and support. The People's Front, the novel alliance forged between the Workers' Party of Bludia and the Communist Party of Sordland, has experienced a remarkable surge in the polls, signaling a political shift in the nation's political landscape. The emergence of the Progressive Coalition, it presents an opportunity for Sordish citizens to embrace a new direction and hope for a brighter future. The People's Front champions policies that reflect the aspirations of broader population and seek to address the most pressing social and economic issues facing the nation. If the current trajectory continues, there is a genuine possibility that we may witness the left-wing coalition ascend to power for the first time in Sordland's history. This historic development would mark a significant departure from the traditional political establishment, providing an alternative vision for the country and offering fresh solutions to challenges we face. As the election approaches and the People Front continues to gain momentum, it is essential for Sordish citizens to remain informed and engaged, carefully considering the potential implications of this transformative political movement on the nation's trajectory. True. Make sure to always be informed before you vote. Geopolitico, Arcasia's strategic checks on CSP forces. As Arcasia grapples with the rising power of Catan and Security Pact, its military intelligence arms are operating in full force, ensuring a direct and confrontational check against the CSP's naval activities. The president of the CSP's fleet, with backing of United Cortanans with vast resources, threatens to disrupt Arcasia's key supply chains, adding fuel to an already flammable situation. Yet Arcasia's strategic response isn't limited to its official armed forces. The nation has smartly integrated two prominent private military companies, Cerberus International and Planetary Security Solutions, into its defense strategy. These PMCs are responsible for safeguarding Arcasia's national interests abroad, especially in resource extraction zones crucial for its struggle against United Cortana. By leveraging these companies, Arcasia strategically detaches some military action from official state oversight, allowing for more flexible and rapid responses to evolving threats. In this multi-dimensional game of geopolitics, Arcasia demonstrates its resolve to adapt and maintain a strategic edge against its formidable adversary. Swordish's minister resigns. David Dewinski, Sordlin's foreign minister, has announced he will be retiring at the end of President Anton Rain's first term. The son of Sordlin's first president, Whiskey has enjoyed a long and fruitful diplomatic career and served as something as a mentor to President Rain during his student days. The Rain administration has not yet announced a potential replacement for Mr. Whiskey should Rain be elected to his second term. Read the report. Vice President Gallade shines during campaign. Vice President our Vice President, Lucien Gallade, has been hosting massive rallies trying to sway both the conservative and reformist voters, also trying to attract new undecided voters. Fortunately, the great and extraordinary oratory skills of the VP has led to many new voters flock to the USP. The VP is shining while expanding the potential voter base. Yeah, go Lucien, let's go! Walter Tusk endorsed President Rain. That's right. Swordish businessman Walter Tusk has officially endorsed us to be the next president of Swordland in the upcoming 57 election. With Mr. Tusk's wide-ranging connections and power, we can expect more business owners and pro-economy citizens to vote for us. Yeah, let's go. We've got people, and we've got the rich. They're both like us. Let's go. World Revolution Manifesto, a revolutionary step. Vice Secretary Chairman Tok Azitli Iotek of the United Assembly of United Cortana has made a groundbreaking announcement. He's proposed the World Revolution Manifesto, a revolutionary vision calling for ideological shifts towards Malianism and Balkanizing socialism globally. This manifesto aims to revolutionize global governance, focusing on investment in education, infrastructure, and health, rather than military investments. I mean, I'm actually straight up doing that. In fact, those are education, infrastructure, and health are the three things I've focused on most in my entire term. So, yeah? Woo? Glad to be on the same side in that? The World Revolution Manifesto is seen as a continuation of CSP's colossal investment scheme initiating 3 years ago. The scheme had channeled 150 billion KS into Rika's infrastructure and education sectors, transforming the continent's social landscape and shaping it into a beacon of sustainable development. The new manifesto, while global in scope, aims to replicate the success, fostering a worldwide revolution. The approach is a peaceful one, favoring socio-economic development over military power. The goal is to construct a world where liberty, equality, and wealth are universally acceptable. If something. ATO signs non-aggression pact for 3 years with Anrika. Amid escalating tensions between United Cortana and Arcasia, the ATO has forged a significant non-aggression pact with the Federation of Anrican Isles. Given the strategic location of these islands, nestled between the continents of Marcopa and Cortana, the pact solidifies an essential diplomatic relationship. The Federation, with its influential naval fleet, provides a buffer zone between major powers and maintains stability for global commerce. American Isles' geographical significance and naval prowess facilitate its role as a mediator in complex dance of global trade. With open trade routes, even amidst ongoing superpower confrontation, the Federation managed to establish itself as a neutral ground for economic cooperation. The pact underscores ATO's commitment to fostering peace and stability in the region, reinforcing the critical role Archean Isles plays in the global ecosystem. Minority poll results. The opinion poll of minority voter groups has been very positive, especially from British citizens in our country. Thanks to our last immigration law, their votes will have a larger impact on the election. USP Congress called, with the now ex-Interior Minister Lilius Graf challenging President Anton Rain following her resignation. Congress has been called, at which members of the USP will determine the party's future leadership. The Grand National Assembly, both Graf and Rain will make speeches, after which the votes will be cast. Oh boy, this is big. It was the day of the United Swordland Party Congress. For the third time in the party in Swordland's history, a candidate was challenging an incumbent president. Serge was driving me to the Grand National Assembly for the historic event. I looked out the window as we passed through the small forest dividing the Maroon Palace and the Assembly. I thought about the day I announced my candidacy against Elwald Afonso, when he was still president. Then I remembered how just a few years before that, Elwald had challenged Turk and Sol. They both succeeded. Yeah, I'd be the first one to actually remain the incumbent. It would be a new thing historically. How are you feeling back there, sir? I'm okay, Serge. How are you two doing? I'm as good as I can be, sir. Serge made a left turn out of the forest and entered the vast garden area of the Assembly. I still don't believe how Miss Graf could run against you. She owes her position to you. No, some people have no regrets or gratitude, Serge. Indeed, sir. It makes me sad to see a respectable woman like Miss Graf act in such a way. He parked the car in front of the gate that led to the USP's wing of the Assembly. Good luck, Mr. President. See you on the way back. See you on the way back. I entered the building and joined the crowd of influential politicians, lobbyists, and benefactors who had gathered for the turning point. It was almost time for the debate. The crowd dispersed and members of the USP went inside the Congress Hall. United Sutherland banners hung from every possible spot. I tried to mentally prepare for my speech. But the lingering memories from the first two leadership races were making it hard for me to focus. As if on cue, Lilia strode past me into the hall, accompanied by a large group of her supporters. Instead of her usual beige, she wore a sun yellow skirt and blazer. Gloria Torrey was on her right. Ayazoff was on her left. I tried to ignore them as I entered the hall. I took a seat next to Lucian and waited for the session to begin. Mr. President, time to face Lilius. How are you feeling about the vote? Many members were thrown off by Lilius' sudden campaign, and I'm sure some will be reticent to vote for a woman, but so much of the conservative wing sympathize with her. It's going to be a close race, but I'm positive that if you remind them who you are right before the vote, you can win the day. Of course I will. Sir, looks like it's starting. Alright, I am nervous. He pointed at the podium. Albin Clavin was here. He was about to introduce the candidates. Now that man is gonna get me in, hopefully. Ladies and gentlemen. The hall fell silent as he continued. We gather here today at the 28th Congress of the United Swordsman Party for the third leadership race in history. As one of the youngest members of the Assembly, I'm honored to be opening this historic session today. The members of the USP will soon be voting on whether President Rain or Lilius Graf shall assume leadership going forward. Before we begin the selection process, I would like to invite both candidates to give very short speeches. First, I would like to invite Anton Rain, the fourth president of Swordsman and the chairman of our party. I stood up and walked up to the podium amid applause and campaign music. I shook his hand before I began addressing the party. Thank you, Albin. Brothers and sisters. Together we have achieved a lot in the past 4 years. People wanted reforms from us, so we did our best to deliver. But Lilius Graf and the old Gar stood in our way. But I'm here to do more, to bring meaningful change. Help me continue our fight to make this country great. I managed to bring the recession under control. Let's unite under this flag one more time. I mean, I kinda, you know what? F it. Miss Graf is a puppet of Turk and Sol and the Old Guard. Nothing else. I know you will do the right thing. A Magnus Westcor! The command music started blaring again as I left the podium. Albin shook my hand again. I walked back to my seat to the sound of loud applause. I sat back down to Lucian. It was a good speech, sir. Congratulations. Albin spoke from the podium again. Thank you for your speech, Mr. President. Now I'd like to invite the next candidate to the stage. She's one of the most experienced and respected members of the party. We all know her from the accomplishments in archery and Holsword as Swordland's Minister of Interior. Let's welcome the former Minister of the Interior of Swordland, Lilius Graff. The hall started applauding. Lilius walked up to the podium, accompanied by an old national song about the Swordist Civil War, Aletta inte Norsini, or The Light in the Darkness. Her eyes had a fire in them that I had never seen before. Fellow compatriots, it is an honor to be a candidate for the leadership of our great United Swordland party. She pulled out a handkerchief and dabbed her eyes. Forgive me, this beautiful song fills me with emotion. My opponent might call that a weakness. I consider it a strength. It brings me hope to see all the energy in the Congress Hall today. But hope alone does not suffice. I don't want to listen to songs any longer. I want us to sing them from the rooftops. What is it you want, sons and daughters of Swordland? I'll tell you right now. You want a president who will stand bravely against the wealthy elites in their mansions, rather than kowtow to their every demand. You want a Swordland to protect its own, rather than letting foreigners who have no respect for our culture. You don't want a president who brings millions of Waziks and Bluish refugees, while actively supporting regimes and atrocities, igniting a refugee crisis. You want a strong and united Swordland. And I am here to tell you that none of these things are possible as long as Anti-Reina is in office. As those who rule the state become more and more alienated from the values that make us who we are, and the deplorables who stand silent against this sink us deeper into quagmire of moral and cultural corruption. He tore his own wife away from her rightful place at home and forced her into politics in the name of women's liberation. She actually pretty much forced me to let her. I would probably be divorced if I did let her do stuff like that, but, sure, you go off. He even worked with the enemies of the state to legitimize their secessionist aspirations, turning a beloved Bergia off from Swordland and turning it into a semi-independent region for the Bloods. He is a disgrace to the name of Turkensoul. We cannot allow him to taint the accomplishment of the party any longer. Don't comment. I kept listening. Don't worry, sir. Let her say what she wants. The result won't change. I mean, this is a good speech, though, I must admit. Like, this is good. After nearly 4 years of the president behaving abnormally against all my advice, I had no choice but to tender my resignation, for I believe we could achieve much more, for I still believe in the idea of united Swordland. I appeal to your inner sense of honor and dignity as Swordish people. Elect me as your leader, and I promise that with the Lord on my side, I shall elevate this party and the glorious nation to the heavens. Mr. Rain, your time leading this country is through. I am here to bring down the walls you built. Thank you. A Magna Westcor. I'm gonna applaud. I joined the applause. The voting began. Look, it's unprofessional not to applaud. I filled out my ballot, making an X next to my own name, and lined up to drop it in the ballot box. After all the votes were cast, we sat down and waited for the announcement. After some time, Albin appeared on stage again. I am very nervous about this. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, today. Thank you, everybody, for voting today. The results are ready. After counting every vote, we have come to a conclusion. The winner of today's leadership vote is determined to be Lilius Graff. I actually kind of thought that would happen. I mean, I've destroyed my conservative base. The hall reverberated with thunderous applause. I congratulate our new leader and our next candidate for president. I couldn't believe it. For a moment, my sight darkened. All I heard was shouting, Lilius! Lilius! I couldn't focus. Everything was coming a blur. Are you okay, sir? I am fine. I sank down on my seat and sighed deeply. Sorry you didn't get to be vice president for longer. I'm grateful you chose me at least. What will you do now? My political career didn't start with you and won't end with you. Besides, you're not going anywhere, are you? Of course not. Then you know I'll support you, as long as we figure out a good plan. Now, what if I started my own party, though? I mean, what party could I join if I wanted to join a new party? Because I could see joining the PFJP. We have a lot of shared interests. I will continue politics in another party. I think I'm gonna join the PFJP. I'll join the PFJP. I always felt closer to them. It was time I left the USP anyways. That is an interesting plan, sir. I support your decision. However, I don't think I'll be leaving the USP myself. I'm sorry. It's fine, don't worry about it. Good luck to you, sir. However, I expected that I'd be alone in this. Somehow I expected that I'd be alone in this. I wasn't sure if my plan would even succeed. I thought back on my many years in the USP, then I thought about the future. I needed to plan my next steps. Let's be weird. Let's be wild. Rain joins PFJP, endorses Richter. In a shocking about-face, President Rain offered his endorsement of the People's Freedom and Justice Party, following his loss to Elias Graf in the USP Congress, following to aid the PFJP leader Franz Richter in his presidential campaign. Prior to his term, we would have presumed Rain a united Swordsman man for life, but the past 4 years have been full of unpredictable moves. One thing we predict, however, despite Rain switching side, Graf and the USP will sail to victory once more. Oh, wait, there's another. Graf victorious at USP Congress. An historic turn of events, Swordsman is potentially on the brink of inaugurating his first female president as former Interior Minister Lilias Graf secures the United Swordsman Party's USP endorsement during the party congress. Following an impassioned and captivating speech, Graf successfully outpaced an incumbent Anton Rain in the voting process, ultimately claiming the party's nomination. As the chosen candidate for the USP, she is now poised to represent the party in the forthcoming elections, where many anticipate a triumphant outcome for the USP in keeping with their established track record of victorious success. Graf's victory at the party congress not only signals a potential shift in the nation's leadership, but also serves as a testament to the growing demand for change within the USP. As the nation watches with bated breath, the prospect of Swordsman's first female president offers a new chapter in the country's political narrative, and the upcoming elections will determine the lasting impact of the historic moment. Elias Graf steals vote at USP Congress. At the USP Party Congress, power-mad spinster Lilias Graf lied and cheated her way into grabbing a majority of member votes. Wow, this is propaganda right here. Despite the results clearly being illegitimate, the rest of the party is going along with Graf's tirade and be putting her forward as the presidential candidate in the next election. Our sympathies lie with President Anton Rain, who gave an inspiring speech at Congress, and in a fair world would be running for re-election. Man. Rain backs Richter in desperate party switch. In a last-ditch ploy to hang on to power after his sound defeat at the USP Congress, Anton Rain threw his weight behind Franz Richter in the PFJP. Anyone who prevents soulless figurehead Lilias Graf from seizing control of Swedish government has got our vote, but this smacks of opportunism on Rain's part. There's no telling whether he really aligns with the party's democratic values, or whether he's just trying to nab himself a cushy cabinet position. No, I genuinely, if you've been paying attention to my term at all, I honestly, my character aligns very closely to the reformist mindset of the PFJP. In fact, he has this entire time. He's worked closer with the PFJP than the USP throughout most of his term. Really? So, I was hoping that maybe, my only chance I felt was that PFJ influence, maybe my economic allies paying off people. I mean, I did not think I would win that legitimately, to be honest. I thought if I got through that, it would be through allied support. I was not going to win that off of my own stuff because the conservatives hate me. My own party hates me. The PFJP likes me more than my party, and that's why I party switched. Simple as that. I work better with them. I think I do better as a president for their party than mine, or my old one at this point. But either way, I think for now we're going to go ahead and end this episode, and well, here we are in a new party. But I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, like, comment, subscribe, and I hope you... I lost my thing. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell button. And as always, peace.